Imagine a world emerging from darkness. In the 8th century BCE, Greece awakens from its dark ages, igniting an extraordinary renaissance. This new era, called the Archaic Age, witnesses a surge in groundbreaking innovations, institutions, and ingenuity. But the defining feature of Greek society is the polis, or city-state. From this word, we get terms like politics and metropolis. Each city-state is a self-governing community made up of a city, surrounding farmland, and the people who live there. Often the size of a modern county, the city-state is far more than just a place. It is a shared identity. By the end of the 8th century BCE, there are about 100 city-states across the Greek world, with powerful city-states like Athens, Sparta, Corinth, Thebes, Argos, and Miletus rising to prominence. Take a journey with your personal classics teacher to dive deep into this pivotal chapter of Greek history, exploring specifically the birth of the iconic city-state. Mr. Seeger presents The Story of the Ancient Greeks, Episode 5, The Greek City-State in the Archaic Age. City-states are politically independent of one another, with a variety of political structures. Some have kings, usually with an advisory council, like Sparta, which has 2 kings simultaneously. Some city-states have a small group of aristocrats called an oligarchy, like Corinth, in which the men in their oligarchy are all from the same family. Later, tyrants rule Corinth and some other city-states. Athens goes through the whole gamut during the Archaic Age: a monarchy, oligarchy, tyranny, and democracy. Each city-state is like its own small country, operating independently of the others, although they join forces at times against a common enemy. Often, the common enemy is another Greek city-state. City-states share a common Greek language, albeit with different dialects. They also share the same polytheistic religion, with Zeus acting as the chief god. Each city-state has a patron deity who protects the city-state. For example, Poseidon, the god of the sea, is Corinth's patron, while Dionysus, the god of wine, is divine patron of Thebes, and Zeus's wife, Hera, is the patron of Argos. Naturally, Athena, goddess of wisdom, is the protector of Athens, as well as Sparta. Meanwhile, the city-state governments sponsor public religious festivals, strengthening both civic pride and spiritual devotion. Physically, a city-state includes homes, shops, and public buildings enclosed by protective walls. At its center stands an acropolis, a fortified hill that serves both as a religious sanctuary and a refuge during war. Below the acropolis lies the agora, a bustling marketplace where citizens gather to trade, debate, and participate in politics. Despite the dominance of the aristocracy, the city-state upholds the ideal of legal equality, a radical concept for its time. All male citizens, regardless of wealth, are supposed to be treated equally under the law. Only male citizens can participate in politics, while women, foreigners, and slaves have no political rights. As we discussed in the last episode, during the Greek Dark Ages, large waves of migration took place, as groups like the Aeolians and Ionians move in search of safety or farmland. These migrations, however, are disorganized and unplanned, driven by the need to escape invaders or find better resources. But by the Archaic Age, Greek expansion takes on a more strategic purpose: colonization. As Greek city-states grow overcrowded and land becomes scarce, leaders seek new territories for farming, trade, and opportunity. Colonization is not just about survival, but also about expansion and economic growth. A mother city, or metropolis, will send out settlers to establish a politically independent colony in a distant land. Though self-governing, these colonies often maintain trade agreements with their mother cities. In time, successful colonies will send out their own settlers, spreading Greek culture even further. This wave of colonization extends Greek influence across the Mediterranean and Black Sea, but most especially southern Italy and Sicily, a region later called Magna Graecia, or Great Greece. The city-state of Miletus alone founds around 80 colonies, and soon the Mediterranean is dotted with Greek settlements. Centuries later, the philosopher Plato likens this expansion to frogs around a pond, as Greek city-states find themselves looking across the sea at one another from their new coastal outposts. Colonization has a transformative impact on Greece. As far-flung colonies flourish, they bring wealth and commerce back to the homeland. The booming trade industry creates new jobs beyond farming: blacksmiths, potters, sailors, and dock workers all find work in these growing economic hubs. Many Greek city-states, once quiet agricultural communities, evolve into bustling metropolises, thriving on the wealth and connections brought by their colonies. Through colonization, the Greeks not only secure land and resources, but also extend their culture, language, and influence across the ancient world, transforming the Mediterranean into what they see as their own Greek Sea. While the city-state fosters fierce independence and innovation, it also plants the seeds of Greece's downfall. The city-states become locked in rivalries that will eventually weaken them all. Their devotion to the city-states will ultimately lead to their own ruin, proving that what makes the Greeks great will also be their greatest flaw. In our next episode, we will continue our study of the Archaic Age and explore another iconic Greek institution, the Olympic Games.